So I have passed out of a Tier-3 college in Calcutta in the year 2019. After that, I started my career with a service-based company due to lack of opportunities and ultimately ended up working for the likes of Amazon, Salesforce and Google.
Like a firefly, open the night, alive and bright, chasing old shadows.
I know there has been tons of videos that have been made on how you can get into these big tech companies from Tier-3 college where you don't get a lot of opportunities. But in this video, I'm also going to touch base on the Tier-3 mindset and the environment and the things which actually encumbers you to get placed in these companies and chase your dreams and how you can circumvent your way around it. As I just said that I have also passed out from a similar college like you, but the environment was not really congenial and motivating enough, but still I managed to fulfill my dreams. I'm going to share my journey along with you, the challenges that I faced, and I'm very sure a lot of you guys will relate to it. And I would also help you to overcome these challenges and chase your dreams and get placed in one of these companies. So if you are someone who is stuck in a Tier-3 college and is aspiring to work for these companies like me one day, stick with me to the end of the video and I'm very sure you are going to take away something from it.
Shadow as I lie free, passing streetlights and starry moonlights, and I fly free. The days grow longer and nights grow shorter as I lie free, passing streetlights and starry moonlights, and I fly free.
Now let me take you through my college life and see how many of you are able to relate with it. Now when I joined college, I was thrown in a classroom which are a lot of underconfident kids, and I was also one of them because of the simple reason that we all had flunked the JEEs and we had no self-belief that we can do something bigger from there. Our teachers also used to sell stories that how they have seen students getting placed in mass hiring companies like TCS, Wipro and all, and they kind of glorified those stories, though they were offering just a mere package of 3 to 4 lakhs per annum. So our dreams was also getting binded to that, and we were getting to a point that, okay, if we get one job at the end of the 4 years, or if we crack companies in like TCS, Wipro, etc., our life would be settled. There's no harm in doing that, to be honest, because a lot of people have different goals in life. But the point that I'm trying to make is, at that time, cracking companies or dreaming to crack companies that I've worked for, like example, Amazon, Salesforce, Google, etc., were a distant dream for me and us. Now, imagine this scenario. When the people around you are happy with being average or happy with a package like 3 to 4 lakhs per annum, would you get that urge to push yourself? No, right? The other thing that I find very weird about these Tier-3 colleges, it's actually not weird if you think about it logically. You have to understand these Tier-3 colleges, they mean business and they take in a lot of students, sometimes even without the JEE ranks, right? So now what they want is, they want these students to get placed somehow because they want to show the placement statistics high up there, right? So they don't care that whether students are getting a good packages, all they care is the students getting placed in any one company, even if it is with a very meager package. So the best way to do that for them is to get them placed in a mass hiring company like TCS, CTS, etc., which hires in large numbers, and those interview process is relatively easier to get into. So therefore, they would always motivate you to prepare hard, and they will sell you glorified stories that how your seniors got into these companies. And as a result, what happens is your aspirations are also get bounded by it. I mean, I'm not saying that teachers would tell you not to go for Amazon, Fang and these type of companies, but you will see this subtly. What they do is they try to push you towards that, and also they would come up with strong attendance criteria and what not to make life more harder for you, because we all know that when you go to college, your time is not well utilized because you hardly learn anything. The teachers mostly are MTech students from that particular college itself who couldn't get a job, or maybe they are not really well equipped to teach you the things that are there in the industry because they hardly have worked in the industry themselves, and that is something that I've seen. The quality of teachers, let's be very honest, in these sort of colleges is very poor, and that colleges also pay a very meager amount to them. So as a result, they also lack the motivation to push you hard. As the end result, what happens is if you go and spend time in these colleges and in the classrooms, most of the times you don't get to learn a lot. So as a result, you have to spend a lot of time honing your skills during your personal time. And if you spend half of your time traveling to college because of the strict, harsh attendance criteria, that doesn't help. What I did was, I used to go to college. I had a good attendance record, but during the 6th sem, just before the placements, I hardly went to college because that was the time I understood, okay, this is a time where I need to really hone my skills and I need to get rid of what my college is saying, and we will see what happens. Having said that, I am really grateful that my college was very supportive on that regard, and they didn't really make a big meal of the attendance criteria and whatnot. I have got a lot of support from my college, but I know that colleges do make it hard for you sometimes. So that's what exactly happens in Tier 3 colleges, because students around you are mostly average, and also their dreams and aspirations are also very limited. They don't have the self-belief to do something big in life, and that kinds of sheds upon on you as well. So even if you want to do something big or crack big companies, you kind of get demotivated by the comments around you. I used to get comments like, यार तेरे सपने बहुत बड़े हैं, या फिर हमारे कॉलेज में प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी आता नहीं है, so it won't be easy for you to crack. So these type of comments used to demotivate me a bit when I started having the aspiration of cracking these companies. Second thing is, you have to understand that what do you need to get placed in these product-based companies? You need to be a good programmer, right? You need to build projects. You need to be good in DSA or competitive programming, whatever is it. Now, when you start doing that, you won't find any good peers around you, because most of the people won't be interested to do these things. I've seen one thing in college, that people are involved in all sorts of activities except coding. You know, I started to start a coding club with a couple of my juniors who were interested in programming, but I received a lot of pushback, majorly because of two things. One, I found the teachers weren't supportive enough to start a coding club as they were supportive of other clubs. And the other thing was, the students were not really interested. So whenever we used to conduct coding competitions, the students would hardly participate in it. The teachers only asked the students to take part in these coding competitions only when the placement season arrived. But I think this culture of coding and programming and doing stuff should start right from the first year itself, because you just cannot suddenly go in the final year and start developing this habit of coding just because you have to crack these companies. I don't think it happens like that. So as opposed to, the good colleges where you have seen the seniors getting placed in these companies, the dreams and aspirations are set right from the start. Okay, but in these Tier 3 colleges, it is a challenge to first dream, and then also work hard and motivate yourself to achieve that dream. So yeah, when I was in college, I found hardly any peers who was interested in programming. I tried a lot to organize or form a coding club where we can have like-minded people together, but again, that was not the case because students were hardly interested in programming. Third thing was, even when I was going good in coding, I didn't get enough motivation. I would say ki, yeah, people used to acknowledge the fact that I was a good programmer and used to tell me ki bahut acha kar raha hai, but they were like, okay, matlab, it's fine. I mean, they were not too bothered about it. So now, as someone in college, let's say if you are doing something good and you get a sort of a motivation around you by, if people are coming and complimenting you and stuff, then it also helps you to push back. These are sort of psychological aspects that sometimes might help you as well. So I threw a lot of problems on your plate. I'm very sure you're going to relating to a lot of it. But now let's take a step back and try to figure out that what is the solution to it and how do they overcome it. See, first of all, you got to understand this thing, that at the end of the day, you have to work alone in life and you got to be a trendsetter. Okay, so if people around you are not doing the things, but if you are interested in doing those things, you have to do it, and that's exactly what I did. I think the advantage for you guys these days is there is a lot of awareness. I mean, people getting into Google or Amazon or any of these FANG or big tech product-based companies from a college like you is not unheard of. Like, you have an example right in front of you who passed out of a college where he was not even allowed to sit for a company like Infosys during his placement drive, right? Because my college was not allowed for it. So now you have heard countless such stories, right? Doing the rounds on social media, on YouTube, podcast, everywhere. Like, I have also hosted a couple of people who have done the same, who have gone through the similar journey. So now when people have the awareness, at least they have a little more belief that, okay, this can be done, right? So I don't think you would get the pushback that I received when I was preparing. Okay. Now, having said that, you have to do the job on your own. You have to make those coding projects. You have to be good at DSC. You have to hone your problem solving skills, right? And this is something that you have to do. Now, I understand, and obviously I had also gone through a similar phase, that sometimes you need a bit of motivation, like a peer motivation or someone with whom you can discuss stuff. And it is okay if you don't find it within college. You have to search for that sort of group outside college. Now, what I did was, when I used to make a little bit of small coding projects or games, I used to showcase, I used to post it on Facebook. At that time, social media was not there. Facebook was the only medium, so that people who were following me from other colleges, they were aware that, okay, I also am interested in programming, so they would connect with me. The second thing, when I started doing competitive programming, right, I used to go and participate in a lot of college tech fest. I literally went to every college tech fest that was happening in my city and went to participate in the coding competitions. What I figured out, that there was always this handful of students from all of these colleges who would always come and participate in these coding competitions, and from there we sort of formed a group amongst ourselves, and we are still friends. I mean, even after we are done with all the college life, now we are getting placed in all good companies, we still sometimes, catch up. We don't talk about coding a lot, but it will help you to build friendships, make networks, and also it will give you that motivation, because I remember the motivation that I got from them was immense, and we kind of pushed each other. Yes, I did have college friends. There was a small group who was interested in programming. We used to push each other as well. But again, if you are not able to find that within your own college, go out, participate in coding competitions, hackathons, and you will meet a lot of your like-minded people, and going to the same journey as yours, or sometimes people who are from tier 1 or good colleges, and they would be a good motivation for you. But one thing, always remember, unless you start doing the things that you want to, unless you start being a good coder, being a good programmer, go and participate in those coding competitions, no one would want to be around you, because at the end of the day, everyone would want to be around like-minded people or people who are better than them. The other thing which I also found a bit challenging is the lack of good alumni network. Like again, we were the first passing out batch from my college, so I had no alumni network at all. But again, if you're passing from a tier 3 college, you would see that most of your alumni network is working in companies where you don't want to work at, or you want to see yourself in. Okay, and we know that if you have a good alumni network, like people, your seniors who have passed out from the college, there's always that sentiment that plays, and you would get some sort of help, like at least even if it means getting a referral, to say the least, right? So that is something that won't happen, but that is again the very reason why I told you to build strong connections network outside college, and it will go a long way in helping you to get placed in your dream company. So this was about the psychological aspect of things and the environment. Now let's talk a little about the reality around you, right? So first of all, it is very hard to get internships from a tier 3 college because no one trusts you. I remember when I, old DM people on LinkedIn that I want an internship, all the people who were working for big tech companies, they hardly replied to me. One or two of them said that, hey, we only refer people from IIT, NIT or good colleges. So that's a problem, Plus a lot of companies who are not big tech companies, but who are small, medium scale companies, they tend to judge you a lot based on their college. And this categorization is something that I have faced. When I was interviewing for a Calcutta based company, one of the HRs told me that, hey, take this offer. He was lowballing me a lot. And then he said that, hey, take this offer, otherwise you won't get any job. And I said, I already have a job, sir, and if you can offer me this much, then I would happily join, else no. But you get my point, right? Because people feel that, tier 3 college students cannot be trusted. But again, nothing to get demotivated over here, because back during the time when I was passing out, most of these big tech companies were not really hiring. They were only hiring from the good colleges, because their hiring count was also relatively lesser. Now you've seen that Google has opened a new office in Bangalore. They're coming up with an Hyderabad office. Microsoft has a lot of offices. They have opened offices. Amazon also, and a lot of other good startups have come up as well. That has kind of improved the hiring scenario in India. And as a result, they cannot sustain just by hiring from tier 1 and tier 2 colleges. And they also have to hire from tier 3 colleges as well. And this is a shift that came post-COVID. When I interviewed for Amazon, I had only one interview opportunity, and I know that I have to crack it, right? But now situations have changed. So if you are good enough, eventually you will get called. I know a lot of people tell me ki bhaiya, I have solved 1,000 questions on lead code, still I'm not getting calls. I would say wait for your turn, because even if you're not getting any opportunity straight out of college, join the company that you can get into. It's fine. Even I have spent a year in service-based company, and when you have that experience, you have to get calls. I mean, there is so much hiring right now that you just cannot escape that. So don't worry about it. But coming back to the internships part, yeah, it's still a bit tough to get into big tech companies as an intern, because what happens, these big tech companies visit the tier 1 and tier 2 campuses to hire for interns. And when they visit the campus to hire interns, it becomes very easy for them to get internships and eventually get a PPO. But that's, however, not the case for the tier 3 colleges. I mean, for internships, what you can do is you can build a portfolio, like you can learn, let's say, for example, JavaScript and Munstack, because a lot of startups use that, and try applying to startups. Use LinkedIn, Twitter as a form of social media, right? And also you can have your open source contribution. That also sometimes helps you to get jobs and remote jobs if you don't want to get into FANG and follow that path. Getting internships is a bit hard, but it's not very tough. Again, internships are not mandatory, but I would strongly recommend you to do so. I didn't do a lot of internships because I didn't get a lot of opportunities, but I feel it will be a good start for your career. When in a tier 3 college, it's very important to build the connections, right? So referrals, for getting internships, whatever is it, and also for the environment, so building the environment around you. So that is why one thing I said, that go to coding competitions, hackathons, try to network around, right? Try to be active on social media and try to join Telegram groups where you would get these opportunities, and also try to attend events, because you never know, the people you meet might change the way you think about your life, and it really helps a long way going forward. So to sum it up, all you got to do is first work on yourself, be good at programming, follow the basics, make good projects, be good at DSA, right? Second is go and apply to these companies. Directly apply if you are not getting referrals, and if you want to get referred, then make a good connection. I already told you how you can make those, or else randomly cold DM people. Sometimes you get referrals from there as well. I've already made a video on referrals. I've already made a video on roadmap for college students and what are the things that you need to do to get placed in your dream company. You can go and check this video out. I don't want to reiterate that in the video because that is not the purpose of this video. All I want to say is don't be demotivated. The hiring space in India have changed by leaps and bounds over the past 5 years with all these companies hiring in large numbers. So if you are from a Tier 3 college and you think you cannot get into these top tech companies that you dream to work for someday, I would say don't limit yourself. If I can do it from a college where we were the first batch and no alumni network, no coding culture, a placement scenario where we were not even allowed to sit for a mass hiring company like Infosys in our batch, no hiring opportunities for Tier 3 colleges from these companies, and no awareness or YouTube videos like this, and yet go on to work for companies like Amazon, Salesforce, Google, etc., then I think you can do it too. I hope this video was relatable because I feel that right now if you're watching this video, you should know that the challenges that you are facing right now, the other person right in front of you in the screen has also gone through it and has kind of found a way to get past them. And like me, there are countless examples. Many of you would find probably in your alumni network as well. So I would end the video here. Thanks for watching. If you had liked this content, don't forget to press the like button and I will see you in some other video.